Hi everybody, welcome back to the studio. I'm joined by some of the partners that help to supply the Motability Scheme's worry-free leasing package. They're here to tell you all about the service you can expect on the Motability Scheme. Don't forget, if you have any questions for our partners, please submit them now. From insurers Direct Line Motability, we have Ruth McQuaid. From the RAC, here's Sian. And from Kwik, here's Luke. They're all here to answer your questions, and we'll get through as many as we can. We'll start with some general questions. Firstly, over to you, Sian. Can you tell us what our customers should do in event of a breakdown?
Okay, so in the event of a breakdown, our customers can reach us in a couple of ways. So if you're in a safe location, you could log your breakdown online. But if you want to speak to one of our team, we do have a dedicated team that can hold your hand throughout that breakdown. What we ask is have your vehicle registration and have a contact number so that we can keep in touch with you throughout.
So people don't need anything else then apart from their registration number?
Absolutely not, because what we will do, we'll ask you all the relevant questions and we'll just guide you through that breakdown experience.
Okay, that's brilliant. So it can be quite stressful when you break down at the side of a road, can't it? So you're like worrying that someone's going to turn up. So
exactly, and that's what my team's there for, to make sure that we take away that stress. So what we're providing is worry-free motoring, and as I said, we'll just hold your hand throughout that breakdown experience.
That's lovely, thank you. So what does RAC Motability Assist promise scheme customers?
So what we are going to promise you is that worry-free motoring. So you know what we'll do, we'll have one of our team ask you some questions. So what's happened to your vehicle? Have you got a flat battery? Have you got an issue with your tyre? Is something wrong with your windscreen? And what we will then do is find out where you are, what's your location, how do you feel? Are you feeling vulnerable? Are you on a high-speed road? So it's really important to us to make sure that we get all of those details from you so that we can send out the right resource to you. And what we'll do is make sure that through each step of that experience that we're keeping you updated, and we're letting you know that our patrols are en route to you and what to expect when our patrols get to you.
Yeah. What if it's actually one of your adaptations that's broken and not the actual car? Still means you can't go anywhere. What should people do then? Do they still ring you?
Absolutely. So again, we have a technical team, a dedicated technical team that can talk to you around those adaptations. But if we can't fix the adaptation, what we will do is get you recovered.
Right.
And what we'll do, we'll speak to you about, that onward mobility. Do you need a taxi? What is it that we can do to provide a solution for you?
Okay, wonderful. And over to you, Luke. Can you tell us about the service that Kwik offers scheme customers?
So the primary function of Kwik is to support the Tyre programme for the Motability Scheme customers. So we're responsible for fitting tyres to vehicles, but we also manage the authorisation of tyres on the scheme vehicles.
Right.
And that can be authorising work that we do, but also work that's done outside of our network. Could be done at a dealer if the vehicle's going back to a dealer for its service. So we take overall responsibility for tyres. As well as tyres, we do some mechanical work for customer scheme vehicles, so we can do brake work if they need it.
Right.
We do a number of MOTs. We can do services. In the case of the mechanical work, I think we'd recommend that the customer speaks to Motability Operations in the first instance, just to be sure if they're comfortable for the work to come to us and see if there's an option to put it into the dealer. But we're happy to accommodate that where we can and support the scheme in any suitable way.
If a customer has a favourite garage nearby, can they go to them or must they go to Kwik?
We generally prefer them to go to Kwik because there is a cost that adds up for Motability Operations if the work tends to go somewhere else. But we can accept a certain amount of work to go outside the network. It works up to a certain point for us in Motability Operations. So it's never 100% hard and fast rule. It has to go to us.
Yeah.
But generally that's what we like to happen, and that's what Motability Operations are.
Right, perfect. And how can customers access the service when they need it?
Well, in the same way that Sian described, we also have a dedicated team that works solely on looking after Motability customers. So they can call into us and get guidance and direction from us. They can just drop into their local Kwik centre, and we also have a mobile service that they can access on the phone as well.
So recently I was driving my car and it told me I had a flat tyre. Fortunately I've got run flat, so I was okay. But I really needed it fixed because I had to get to London the next day, and my local Kwik is 45 minutes away.
Wow.
But unfortunately you do run, I don't know if people know this, you do run a service that actually comes to your house.
We absolutely do. I don't think everybody knows that.
No,
I
didn't know that till I looked it up.
No.
So yeah.
No, we absolutely do. It's free of charge. There's no extra charge for doing it. It might not always be that we can do a same day.
Yeah, that was the problem for
so just
me.
bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Just bear in mind, it's not always same day. It's an appointment service. We're not a rapid response service. We won't come to the side of the road. But if you can get the vehicle somewhere safe where we can work on it, we can make an appointment and come to you.
So that was just sort of something surprised me. So I thought, I'll make sure I mention that.
I'm amazed when I come to the shows how many people don't know that we've got a
didn't
mobile
know that at all.
service.
But no, I thought that was a good thing for customers.
Fabulous
to
for
know
the
about.
customer.
Yeah. And Ruth, can you tell us about how you work with the Motability Scheme and what Direct Line Motability offers scheme customers and what's included with their lease? Sorry, lots of questions there.
Yeah, so our primary aim is to provide the insurance for the scheme. So all vehicles on the scheme are insured now by Direct Line Motability since September of last year. We provide fully comprehensive insurance for the customer. A customer can have up to 3 named drivers on the policy. And obviously we're there if there's a claim is needed to be made, if anyone has an accident, whether that's an accident just with the Motability vehicle or an accident with another vehicle potentially on the road. And then we will deal with that claim for the customer right through. We will get the car repaired, we will provide some continuous mobility while the vehicle's being repaired and deal with any claims that come in against the customer. And really, once you've reported that claim, we should take a lot of that stress and strain, because obviously having an accident can be quite stressful, and deal with the claim right through.
I think one thing that concerns some customers is if they make a claim, would they lose their good condition bonus?
So no, because primarily if they make a claim, obviously the repairs should be done to such a good standard that the vehicle should, it should be as it was previously, really.
Oh, right.
But there is an option potentially where customers can choose not to have the vehicle repaired for very minor scrapes and scratches. And actually Motability will take that into account and still will pay the good condition bonus despite some minor scratches. So there is the option to do that, but if you rang up with a minor scratch, that whole process would be described to you by our customer service people.
I wonder where I got that from. I think sometimes you get ideas in your head that you lose things and you don't at all. So I think that's really good to kind of clear that up. Before we jump into the questions from our viewers, is there one Motability Scheme related question that you get asked more than any other question? And let's start with you, Luke.
We've been racking our brains about this. I don't think there's one question we get that much more than all the others.
Right.
Very common question we get, particularly from people who are new to the scheme, is do we have to pay anything?
Right.
They don't. Unless it's something that's not sanctioned on the scheme, like you want to have winter tyres on the vehicle, you'd have to pay to have the winter tyres fitted. But generally, no. The questions that we're starting to get more of these days are about the complexity of tyre construction and the different amount of tyre sizes, run flats, reinforced tyres, 4x4s, self-sealing tyres, and the list goes on. And the range of tyres is just getting wider and wider and wider. I don't want customers to worry about that.
No.
If you're not sure, call us, we'll steer you through.
Yeah, because I had that when I had to go and get my tyre repaired, and I put into the site what my car was, the registration, and it said, this is your tyre, and then when I turned up at Kwik, it wasn't that tyre at all, and they were like, it's often like that.
It's really difficult because for any vehicle these days, there could be 4 or 5 different standard options. So unless we've seen the vehicle before, we actually don't necessarily know ourselves. So that is something that we're increasingly having to deal with these days.
That's great. And Sian, what's the most common question for you?
Just similar to what Luke said, so I asked the team the most common question, and one that we've actually had here at the show as well, is what happens if you can't fix our vehicle? How am I going to get home, or how am I going to get out and about? And for us, that seems to be the common theme. But it's about reassuring our customers that we do fix the majority of vehicles, but if we don't, we can keep you mobile with a taxi or a hire car. So that is down to my team to make sure that we keep you informed and updated.
Lovely. And finally, you, Ruth.
So similarly, we've had a variety of questions over the last couple of days, but our most common question is about the number of drivers that are allowed on the scheme. But our most common question over the last couple of days has actually been, can I take my car to Europe? It must be the time of year everyone's thinking about their holidays. And the answer to that is yes. So we've been able to reassure quite a lot of people on that. And so that's been a common question.
And do people have to tell you that they're doing that?
So they don't have to tell us, but they do have to notify RAC Europe actually, and get a form called a VO103 set up. But other than that, no, they're just covered it anyway. So
so anyone going to Europe, contact you at RAC, but not you. Okay, wonderful. So we've actually got quite a few questions now that have come in from the viewers. Let's see, was a surprise what we're going to get. Our first one is for Sean. What happens if they break down and need to call someone out? Can you talk them through the process?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, if you do need to call us because you've broken down, have your vehicle registration, because what that does then, that will give us the details of your vehicle, have a contact number so we can keep you updated. The team are going to ask you various questions. So what's the fault with the vehicle? What's actually happened to you to call us?
Yeah.
We're going to ask you your location. Again, really important, and we'll ask you a lot of questions around your location to ensure that we're pinpointing it exactly so we know where to go, where to come to.
Yeah.
And then what will happen is then we'll give you, we'll let you know how long it's going to take us to get out to you. We'll let you know who's going to come out to you, and throughout that process we're going to keep you updated. So at each step of that journey, you know exactly what you know the patrol that's going to come out to you. That you know it's me that's going to be managing the breakdown, and we're going to keep you updated. And then the patrol, when the patrol's arrived, is going to tell you exactly what's wrong with your vehicle. Hopefully he's fixed your vehicle.
Yeah.
If he's unable to fix your vehicle, what's going to happen then? We're going to get you recovered to your repairer or to your dealer, and then what we're going to do is to ask you, so what do you need now? Do you need us, do you need a taxi, or do you need us to get you into a hire vehicle to keep you mobile? But throughout that process, we're going to hold your hand and we're going to talk to you each step of the way to make sure that you know what's going on and it's the right solution for you.
If you feel that someone is quite in a sort of dangerous situation, broken down in a lane on the motorway, do you contact emergency services?
We do, yeah.
You do. The person doesn't have to do that.
Absolutely not. So we'll contact the highways agency, and what's important to note, if our customer's in a running lane, we can't actually attend on the running lane.
Oh, right.
So I would say that if you find yourself your vehicle stopped in a running lane, contact 999, because what the motorway police can do then is to close that lane down, and it's super important.
So by running lane, you mean a lane that's kind of actually got cars?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, because not all motorways have a hard shoulder anymore, do they?
They don't. No. But if you are on the hard shoulder, and you can contact us. We will certainly support you through that by contacting the highways agency. But if you are in a lane that's got vehicles in and running, the vehicles are running, you need to contact 999.
Contact 999.
Yeah,
Perfect.
definitely.
Ruth, if anyone needs to call Direct Line Motability to make a claim, how does it work, and what might it be helpful to have to hand?
So it'd be really helpful, similar, to have your registration number.
Yeah.
Obviously, all your details. If you can potentially have your policy number, that's also helpful to speed things up.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're making a claim that involves another party, if you can get as much details as you can from the other party at the scene of the accident, and that's great. If you can take some photographs of any damage, that's also very helpful, and there's a system by which you can do that, and we'll send out a link for you to send the pictures to us. And predominantly, once we've got that information, that's probably all you need to be able to say at the initial stages of a claim.
Is the advice still from insurers like never to say sorry, or do we're kind of changed on that one?
I think the kind of the photography that you can get now and the evidence that can be seen, it's quite easy to see. I mean, I think it's nothing wrong with saying sorry, is it? It's not a real admission. I think people are cautious, aren't they? But I think it's really important if anyone sees the accident who's an independent witness, to get their details is really important, because that can help. But I don't think it matters if you want to say sorry.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. And Luke, what should people expect when they come for a replacement tyre? For example, how long does it take? Do they need to bring anything with them?
I mean,
like a stack of novels.
Depending on how busy we are, maybe a stack of novels. The first thing to say is they don't need to bring anything, just themselves and the car. We get a list like we all do. We all know the vehicles on the scheme. They just need to say it's a Motability vehicle. We'll type the registration into the computer. That will confirm that it's a Motability vehicle, and it also gives the guys an instruction about how we manage the process with the customer. So we will, within the first 5 or 10 minutes, we'll greet them. We'll tell them how many people are already in the centre and how long they might be looking to wait. If there are vehicles on the ramp, we can't fast track you in and take other vehicles off the ramp, obviously. We like to run it in an orderly way, but we'll check that we've got a tyre in stock. that sounds easy, but that's not always the case, because some vehicles have very unusual tyres on them these days. But we generally will be able to help, even if we don't. That might be we'll arrange a mobile appointment for the driver, or we'll direct them into the dedicated team so that we give the driver a call to arrange something. We can even make an appointment for a driver to come back at a later time or another day and have a 1 hour slot. That's really the point I suppose I want to make, is we are managing an appointment service now because tyres have become so complex. We're doing more and more of our work every month by appointments. And one of the things that I really want to stress is we have now set up an online booking facility for Motability customers through the online account.
Right.
So you can go through your online account, takes us to our website, and you can book an appointment for the vehicle, tell us what tyres you need, and we will say, come in, you reserve your own slot. You say, come in at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and when you do that, we will guarantee to get you out within an hour. If you come in for a while, you wait appointment, or you drop in, you're a little bit a hostage to fortune. It depends how busy we are.
And I have to say myself, I did actually find the Kwik Fit waiting areas quite nice, accessible toilets, water machine, and also I don't know if it's a new policy, but I've been to a couple of different Kwik Fits, and the guys working on the desks have all had disabilities, and I don't know if that's a new thing.
I don't think it's anything. No? I don't think it is. No.
That again was quite nice to see, and a lot of the people in there were also Motability customers. So
we have worked quite hard at refreshing the estate, shall we say? So a lot of our centres have been around since the 70s or the 80s, and they were beginning to look quite tired, quite old, and they really needed more than a lick of paint. So we have refreshed a lot of reception areas. It's a long process. We've got 700 centres, but we are working our way through them. Within the next few years, we'll have them all looking top
wonderful.
notch.
And Sian, if someone's planning a long journey or road trip, what should they carry in their car in case of breakdown?
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah, but especially with summer coming up, I think.
Exactly. So what I would always say is have some water, have some snacks. If you've got medication that you need to take regularly, make sure you've got that to hand. A phone charger, I think that is a fantastic thing to have in your vehicle as well, so you can keep your mobile phone charged. And also if you've got any, just a blanket maybe, so in the event that you do break down and that you need to wrap up, that you have got that as well. But I think that's a great question.
I think it's a good question. Probably different things in summer and winter, but generally just something to keep you going, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, definitely. Water and snacks, for sure. Just make sure you've always got those in.
And another question for you as well.
Okay.
Will a customer get a courtesy car when their car's been recovered by the RAC?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I said we will keep in touch with you, and we offer an end-to-end service. So, from the point that you break down, and what we do, if your vehicle does go into the repair or to the dealer, we're going to manage the whole of that breakdown and the whole time that your vehicle's off the road. So we'll keep in touch with the dealer for you. We'll keep in touch with you. We'll let you know the progress of the repair. So we'll let you know when your vehicle's going to be repaired and when it's going to be back to you. But you're going to be in a courtesy vehicle as well throughout that time, and we'll arrange that for you as well. We'll contact you, we'll put all the details in, and we'll get that vehicle dropped off to you by a Europe car. But absolutely, we'll keep you mobile throughout the time that your vehicle's off-road.
What if you've got really complex adaptations and you can't just get a standard courtesy car? What happens then? Because that would probably be my situation, I think.
I can get that. So we work with a partner called Proximo. So in the event that you have got an adapted vehicle, they do have adapted vehicles on their fleet. And what they will do is that they will liaise with you directly to see what those complex needs are to ensure that you get the right replacement vehicle that you're able to keep you mobile throughout the period that your vehicle's off the road.
And if they still can, because like I say, I've never found one. I have like Bluetooth head controls, which is a really unusual adaptation. So I don't think I've ever found a hired car I could drive. Would I have to get taxis?
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't really stuck.
No. So what we're going to be doing is talking to you about what the right solution is for you.
Yeah.
So if if we can't get you into a suitable courtesy vehicle, then what we will do is talk to you about having taxis. We can get you onto a taxi account as well, so that you don't have to constantly contact either the RAC or Motability Operations. But what we will do, we'll find the right solution that is bespoke to you.
No, definitely. Ruth, I've got a question for you about named drivers. Who can drive your car? Does it have to be a relative? Like, who can be those drivers?
So you can have the 3 named drivers, and it can be The only real restriction is if your drivers are under 25. And the restriction there is that they can only drive certain types of vehicles, so a kind of lower spec, lower horsepower vehicle. So if you intend to have a driver under 25, then when you're choosing your Motability vehicle, you obviously need to choose a vehicle that is suitable for them and that they are allowed to drive.
Okay.
After that, it should be obviously somebody who is driving the vehicle for the benefit of the customer. So as you would choose named drivers on that basis. They don't have to live in your house, for example. That's a question we get asked quite regularly. If the person who hit can, and we do have open policies as well for some customers, and that can have any driver on it. But predominantly, if you've got your named drivers, you can choose the people who tend to be the people to use the car for your benefit.
Yeah. And what if someone that you want to drive your car's got like driving convictions? Can they still drive your car? Or?
So every driver will be we would look at their license to make sure they have the correct license, and there are some restrictions based on obviously if you certain convictions. It would be a normal underwriting process, almost similar to when you would get personal insurance. So each driver would be checked to see if they were eligible.
Right.
So
there would say 3 speeding points stop someone?
No. So it would be a culmination of a significant number of points or any real serious
drink or drug driving.
Drivers, yeah, obviously they wouldn't be allowed to be a driver at all. So they do need to have.
I presume if someone's conviction was then spent, they then could drive for someone. Or not?
Yeah. So it's if your conviction is because they clear the points off your driving license, and they once that's gone, then you could come. So you could have somebody who came back onto the scheme if necessary. Yeah.
Slightly more complicated perhaps than people realise. Who does window cracks? Is that you?
Oh no.
No? Does anyone know about window cracks?
Yeah, we do windscreen.
What should a scheme customer do if they have a chip or crack in their car window or windscreen?
So our partner for windows is Autoglass.
Right.
So if they contact us in the normal way around a claim, but also customers will have details of Autoglass and could contact them direct themselves as well. So
Do people have to pay for that? You definitely used to.
Pay for your it's different. If it's a crack that can be repaired, then not.
Right.
However, if it's so serious that the windscreen needs replacing, then you wouldn't pay for it, but you would have an excess.
But
it's only a £50 excess. It's lower than your normal excess.
Yeah, perfect. And what would happen if they had a breakdown when driving their Motability scheme car abroad? I guess that.
So we work with a partner called Optiven.
Right.
So in your customer handbook, there'll be a breakdown number for you to contact our partners Optiven. What they will do, very similar to what we do here in the UK, they'll take your scheme registration, they'll ask you what's happened to the vehicle, contact number, and what they do, again, they'll just keep you updated and tell you what to do in the event of a breakdown. Obviously, a little bit different to when you break down abroad to when you do in the UK. You don't get an RAC van come out to you.
Yeah.
But Optiven do work with a network of contractors who will attend. They'll get you into repairer, but again, really important, they'll keep you updated throughout that process.
And will they speak English?
They do. They absolutely do.
I'm sure that's a bit of a concern. Certainly would be for me and my poor linguistic skills. And finally to you, Luke, when Motability Scheme customers go to a Kwik fit for tyre replacement, are they replaced like for like?
The short answer is not always.
Right.
In most cases, you don't need to have a like-for-like fitment.
No.
There are certain vehicles with a technical specification that requires us to make sure that the tyre is exactly the same. And where that's the case, then of course we'll always make sure that it's exactly the same tyre that goes on. Generally not. What we have to do is we have to say, if it's a 4x4, we make sure we put 4x4 tyre on. If it's a run flat like your vehicle, we have to make sure that it's got run flat tyres on. So we always make sure the specifications of the tyre are exactly the same.
Yeah.
It may not be the same brand.
Right, perfect. That's been a great session. Thank you so much, everybody. If we haven't got round to answering your questions, we'll respond on the Motability Facebook page over the coming weeks. The next live speaker session on the stage is with Team Brit, the only all-disabled drivers racing team.